Most men I talk to really want to be a good lover. You want to make her feel good. You want to be the person she brags to her friends about. But here is the harsh truth. You might be trying too hard in all the wrong ways, especially when it comes to the clitoris. I see so many men approaching this situation like a simple on switch. You find it, you rub it, and you wait for the explosion. And when that explosion doesn't happen, or takes too long, you get frustrated, she gets frustrated, and the connection is broken. What would you think if I told you that almost everything you learned from movies or adult films about that little spot actually makes it harder for her to finish? Today, we will fix this situation. I will show you step by step the 3 absolute essentials of female anatomy no one taught you in school. We will slow things down, and I will give you the exact plan you need to go from guessing to mastering. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Clara Sterling, and this is Clarity with Clara. I am a conscious intimacy and relationship coach. My job is simple. I help men and women stop settling for okay intimacy and start building a mind-blowing connection. We strip away the confusion and the awkwardness, and we replace it with skills that actually work in the bedroom. Today, we are focusing entirely on the clitoris. By the end of this video, you will understand her body better than 99% of men out there. Let's get started. The structure is not just a button. Let's talk about the first major misunderstanding, what I call the button myth. That is, the idea that you need to find that tiny spot and focus only on it. But the reality is much more interesting and much more than that. We are not talking about a simple button, but an entire complex internal system. Most men look down, see the little nub, and think, okay, this is the target. I just need to focus here. Here is what you need to know. That little nub you see is tiny. It is barely the size of a pea. But the actual organ, the full clitoris, it is huge. We call this the iceberg concept. You know that little part you see? That is just the tip of the iceberg. The whole clitoris is actually a large internal organ, about 10 to 12 centimeters long. It has a shaft that goes up, and it has 2 legs called crura that wrap around the vaginal opening on the inside. It also has bulbs that fill with blood behind the surface. It is a complex structure that sits deep inside her pelvis. Why does this matter for you? If you are only rubbing that tiny little visible spot with your finger, you are ignoring 90% of the organ. That is why it sometimes feels irritating or boring. You are just stimulating the tip of the nerve, not the whole system. Here is the solution. Stop trying to just rub the button. You need to think about the whole area. When using your hand, don't just use a single fingertip on the head. Instead, try using the flat part of your fingers to apply pressure to the whole region. Or try stimulating the outer lips and the area around the entrance. When you stimulate the surrounding area, you are actually stimulating the internal legs of the clitoris. This creates a deeper, fuller sensation for her, rather than just a sharp, surface-level feeling. It turns the volume up on her whole body, not just one spot. Sensitivity and approach, the too fast mistake. Let's come to our second secret, which is built directly on the first one. This is where many mistakes are made, and it's all about sensitivity and the right approach. To understand why the approach is so important, you need to know this. The clitoris has about 8,000 nerve endings. That is double, yes, double the amount in the head of a penis. This makes it incredibly sensitive. Think about that for a second. If you touch the most sensitive part of your body directly, dry, and with a lot of friction, would it feel good? Or would you jump back? For many women, going straight for the clitoris with direct contact is too much too soon. It can feel like an electric shock or actually be painful. If she pushes your hand away or closes her legs, this is usually why, which is exactly the opposite of what you want, right? Here is how you handle this. You need to respect the hood. The clitoris has a small hood of skin covering it to protect the nerves. When you start, do not pull the hood back. Do not go under the hood immediately. Start over the hood. Use the skin as a buffer. This diffuses the sensation and makes it feel pleasurable instead of painful. And here is a pro tip. Lubrication is non-negotiable here. The clitoris does not produce its own lubrication like the vagina does. If you use a dry finger or a dry tongue, it causes friction burn very quickly. Use high-quality lube or plenty of saliva. Start with slow, broad circles around the clitoris. Don't touch it directly yet. Tease the area. Circle around it like you are orbiting a planet. Get closer and closer, but don't land yet. This builds anticipation. It allows blood to flow to the area, which acts as a cushion and makes direct touch feel better later on. So remember, indirect first, direct later, and always, always wet. I'm going to give you the third and most important secret in just a second. This one is about the specific technique that changes everything. But first, if you are finding this helpful, please take a second to subscribe to the channel. My goal is to build a community of men who are confident and skilled. If you want more straightforward, no-nonsense advice like this, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. If that's done, let's move to the third point, the sweet spot and the rhythm roll. All right. Point number 3, practical technique time. Even though we said you should stimulate the whole area, there is a specific spot on the clitoris that tends to be the golden ticket for most women. Research and anecdotal evidence show that the upper left or upper right quadrant is often the best spot. Let's keep it simple. Imagine the clitoris is a clock face. Instead of rubbing directly in the center, where it is most sensitive and intense, try focusing your pressure at 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Why? Because the nerve entry point is usually near the top. Stimulating this side area provides a deeply pleasurable sensation without the sharp pain of direct center contact. But knowing the spot isn't enough. You need the rule of rhythm. This is the make or break moment for an orgasm. Here is the scenario. You are doing a great job. Her breath is speeding up. She is moaning. You can feel she is getting close. What does your instinct tell you to do? Speed up. Go harder. Right? Wrong. This is the biggest mistake you can make. Suddenly changing the speed or pressure. This is the number one reason women lose their orgasms right at the edge. When she is getting close, her nervous system is hyper-focused on the pattern you are creating. It's like a trance. If you suddenly change the speed or change the pressure or start moving your hand wildly, you break the trance. You reset the progress bar back to 0. Here's your instruction. When she gets close, when you hear her breath catch or feel her hips start to move, do not change a thing. Be a rock. Be a metronome. Keep exactly the same pressure. Keep exactly the same speed. If she wants you to speed up, let her tell you, or let her move her hips against you to speed it up. Your job is to provide a steady, reliable base for her pleasure. This requires discipline. You will want to get excited and speed up. Fight that urge. Stay consistent. This consistency is what allows her to feel safe enough to let go and go over the edge. So, let's recap the 3 keys to mastering this. The iceberg. Don't just rub the nub. Use the flat of your finger to wake up the internal structure and stimulate the whole area. The approach? Never go in dry or direct. Use the hood as a buffer and use plenty of lubrication. The rhythm? Find the 1 o'clock spot and stay consistent when she gets close. Do not speed up unless she asks. Here is your homework for next time. Try the orbit technique. Spend 5 minutes just circling the area without touching the center. Watch how she reacts. I guarantee you will see a difference in her arousal. And this is why this topic is so important. When you take the time to learn and understand your partner's body, you are actually showing her that you give her care and attention and trust. This builds a level of trust and emotional intimacy that makes everything better, both inside and outside the bedroom. Let me leave you with this thought. Great intimacy doesn't have to be a confusing mystery that you hope to stumble upon by chance. It is a set of skills, and like any skill, it is something you can absolutely master with the right knowledge and a little practice. Learning these skills doesn't just make sex better physically, it builds trust. When a woman feels that you understand her body and you aren't just rushing to the finish line, she opens up in ways you can't imagine. I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 points surprised you the most? Was it the internal structure? Or maybe the don't speed up rule? Leave a comment below. I read them and I love seeing your progress. If you like this video, give it a like. It helps the channel grow so I can keep bringing you this content. I'm Clara Sterling. Thanks for watching Clarity with Clara, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.